Coach, as we head into this part of the season, nearing the 1/6 of the way through the season mark, where would you say your team is both from a statistical perspective and an overall roster perspective as compared to where you expected them to be, let's say 10 games in?
We're in an okay place, I think, statistically. 6-3 is 6-3. We would have expected to be higher in the standings, have a better record. At the end of the day, the two 7-1 losses are what's affecting us right now. I think our guys learned from them and we got better, and we got to take the long view. And with those losses, if we can learn from them, I guess we can take them as a positive.
Did any surprises come in some of those games that didn't turn out as expected for you guys? Were there things that you thought would be the case as you headed into this regular season that, when you look at those 3 losses, just weren't quite there to the extent you first expected?
It's hard to say. I mean, they were tough games. Spruce Grove was a tough game. They're a good team, but I think we gave them a lot of opportunities they didn't deserve to have. And it's that whole thing, trying to meld 11 returning guys with 13 or 14 new players and getting everybody on the same page, and that hasn't happened as quickly as we wanted. So, put that on the coaching staff, I guess. We got to work with these guys every day and get it to happen quickly.
It's been quite a while since fans at the CRA have been able to see this team, and there will be some new faces for them. What have you thought of the way guys like Parker Foo and Will Connolly and also Joe O'Connor have come into this team and not only been contributors, but also jumped right onto the score sheet? Foo with his first goal, Connolly gets a goal early, O'Connor with multiple assists in the last game. Did you even expect them to contribute as quickly as they have?
I think so. Like with Joe, he's committed to the University of Vermont. He's a good player. We're able to add some size and some offensive abilities. With Will Connolly, he's a big kid. He shoots the puck well. He's from close to Brooks, just over in Strathmore, so it's nice to have somebody. And Parker Foo, we're kind of lucky to be able to add him to our team. He's a Union College commitment. Great player, makes a lot of real nice plays, and I think as a 98, he's going to turn out to be a real nice player.
The penalty kill has obviously improved significantly since that game in Bonnyville, a perfect streak of 3 games heading into tonight. Also, the power play finally breaks through in that game against the Calgary Canucks. What's been the key to your players finally being able to execute that special teams game plan?
A lot of work. Multiple practices, lots of video, lots of meetings, change of personnel on both units. The power play, change of personnel on the PK, and just keep working on different things. I think our guys are starting to grasp some concepts. We're working towards being better on it every day, and hopefully tonight another time where we can bang a few goals home.
The one thing you don't mention, Coach, that a lot of coaches might if they struggle for a few games was injuries, and certainly you could have turned to that excuse if you would have wanted to. We haven't seen Jesse Baird yet this year. Jeff Malott started off the year so well. We haven't seen him in quite some time. Austin Wright, Logan Aisman get added to the injury brigade, as it were. Has this almost felt a little bit like a couple of years ago when this team was hampered by injuries for what seems like the entire year? Or with how many injuries there have been so early in the year, did this season almost take it to a new level?
It's been tough. I mean, we can use that as an excuse. I think the nice part is our young guys have had an opportunity, just that, to have an opportunity to get in, to play some minutes and have some meaningful minutes where we needed them to help us win hockey games, and they've done a great job. Add to the injuries, the suspensions for Jesse Prayer and now one for Jared Cockrell, and it's all 19 and 20-year-olds who end up out of the lineup. So it's been tough, but I think for our guys just to understand that we're soldiering on with what we have, and at the end, when we get to put everybody in a healthy lineup at some point, hopefully, we should be a pretty powerful team.
Of course, tonight will be the first home game for this team in 20 consecutive days, and after that, you won't be back at home until October the 24th. Has that presented a bit of a challenge being on the road as much as you guys have, or is it perhaps something you've embraced a little bit, A, because you're going to have a ton of home games when we get to November and December, and B, because with so many new players like you mentioned, seems like an opportunity for them to start to come together a bit too?
I think it's good. It's always nice to be out on the road, and you're on the bus, you're dealing with a bunch of different things. For the guys, the new guys to be in, it just gets everybody together, closer. There's no pressure on the road. You just go and you play, and it doesn't have to look pretty. And I think that we've kind of embraced that, and hopefully now that we're home, we can play a similar game. It doesn't have to look great. It just needs to be effective. And our guys are excited to be at home, and when we space the games out so much, hopefully the fans are excited tonight too.
Final thing for you, Coach, if you look at the AJHL South overall as we head to this point of the season, certainly Okotoks has surprised us a little bit. Camrose is about as competitive as we expected. But for the division overall, has anything come out contrary to the expectations that your coaching staff had as we head into this year? Certainly the Canucks played you tough. The Mustangs we expect to challenge tonight. But is this division emerging as expected, or have things been a little bit different?
In my opinion, it's kind of just as expected. I think Okotoks has been the one surprised, a younger group, and they've done real well. And for us, I look at last year, we were 4-5 after 9 games. We come back to win the South Division. This year, 6-3, and you know, we talked to our guys. The difference between 6-4 and 7-3 is a real big thing. It's one hockey game, but if we can come out 7-3 after our first 10, I like where we position in the division.